Hi, my name is Kelly Ayers, and this is the presentation of my game, The Bullies of Hubbard Hollow Elementary. I apologize that I don't have a very high-tech setup or editing software or anything like that, but I think you'll get the basic gist of my game just based on my little video here. So this game, The Bullies of Hubbard Hollow Elementary, was inspired by this game, which is The Werewolves of Miller's Hollow. It's kind of a dark game, so not quite what we want to use in the primary grades of elementary school. But one of the things I love about this game and why I wanted to repurpose it for my elementary game is the fact that when you play this together, there tends to be a lot of laughter. There tends to be a lot of trust, and that communication is there. And so I thought, what better way to kind of get elementary school kids talking than with something that kind of jabs into that same vibe, maybe not quite so dark, but how do I bring it to their level and create something that in turn can be a gateway to meaningful discussion about serious things like bullying, which unfortunately is a big problem in my classroom right now and in my grades. So that's something that we need to talk about, something we need to address. And so the academic subject, so to speak, that I'm going with here is kind of that health and communication, well-being kind of thing. So just like Werewolves of Miller's Hollow has these nifty cards with symbols on it that tell you what you are going to be throughout the game, mine does as well. And so the purpose of this game is if you are a bully, your goal is to bully every single last person at the table. And once you have been bullied, you're out of the game. If you are not a bully, your object is to send the bullies to the principal's office. The problem is nobody knows who's a bully and who isn't until their card is ultimately revealed. Now, the bullies will know who each other is because the narrator will make sure that happens. So every single time school is not in session, everybody with a character card gets an opportunity to do some kind of special thing. The bullies get to see each other, and then the people who are not bullies will have a special power that they could do as well. I'm actually very proud of these cards. When I spoke to a couple of my more artistic second graders, they were more than happy to create these for me. So we have our two bullies here, and he is telling you to give him all of his lunch money, and the little girl bully who is apparently very mean. So these cards will be passed out at random. So everybody will get a card that looks like this. They'll have a moment to take a look at their cards, not showing anybody else. And then when school is not in session, they'll be able to do what they do. As far as the powers of the regular people in the school, we have the teacher. And the teacher's power is when the narrator says so, everybody will keep their eyes closed. The bullies will get to see each other. Then they will close their eyes again. The narrator, who will always be the teacher just to keep that continuity for discussion and to make sure everything stays on track, the narrator will then ask the teacher to reveal themselves. And the teacher's power is that they can open their eyes and the narrator will actually let them know if the person to their right or to their left is a bully. They can do this once around. Because we keep the kids who are a little high on the radar close to us, right? And so that's the teacher's power. Then we have the teacher's pet. And the teacher's pet, so the narrator will tell the teacher to close her eyes or his eyes and then say, oh, the teacher's pet can now open their eyes. And the teacher's pet, they can find out who the teacher is. And of course, they always want to stay close to the teacher, so they'll have that knowledge. Then we have kind of an interesting one called the art student. And the art student, every round when it's their turn, they will have 30 seconds to 1 minute, depending on the age of the students that you're playing with, to draw a secret message to the rest of the group, but they can only use pictures. They cannot use words or symbols of any kind. And their hope is when everybody wakes up, when it's ready for the next school day and everybody wakes up after that round, that the rest of the group will be able to hopefully decipher anything that they might think or know is going on. Next we have the Tattletale. And the Tattletale, her ability happens when the bullies are revealing themselves to each other. The Tattletale could try to peek to see who the bullies are. However, if she's caught, she's automatically bullied and out of the game. Next we have the Janitor. Now the Janitor's power is at the end of a round, before the bullies reveal who they're going to bully, he or she can choose to erase what they do, and they can only do it once a game. So they kind of have to have a gut feeling about it, like, could it be me they're coming after, or do I want to erase what they're doing? But once per game, they can erase and clean away anything the bullies do. And then finally, we have the school secretary. And the school secretary, her power happens if she is bullied. She has the power to take somebody away with her. So she will get so angry that she'll leave the school, and she is going to rezone somebody with her. If it happens to be a bully, great. It might actually end up being somebody who's on her side. So at the end of each round, after everybody's had a chance to do their power, the bullies will then, everybody with their eyes still closed, the narrator will ask the bullies who they're going to bully that day. And they will have to kind of quietly communicate, which is also a great skill to give these kids. Quietly communicate and point to somebody. They have to agree, and then the narrator will everybody will open their eyes and will reveal who it was who was bullied by flipping over their card. Now, then everybody else will get to decide who gets sent to the principal's office for doing that. And so the townspeople, but the kids and the teachers who are left with their cards will discuss who they think should get sent to the principal's office. There's a vote. The hope is you're sending one of the bullies, but it could be that the person that you're sending is not. And the gameplay continues until we have one side or the other that wins. Now, in the Werewolves of Miller's Hollow, of course, these are werewolves eating each other or eating the townspeople, and of course we don't want that there. But what we're really trying to take away from this game, again, is just that laughter, that camaraderie, that trust, and to build an atmosphere where, like I said, after each round, the point would be to stop and say, okay, that was funny. What are our takeaways? What is bullying? How do we actually recognize a real bully? How would we know if we were being a bully? Because unfortunately, it is a term that's used a lot, but kids don't often understand what it actually means. And it has become kind of a buzz term these days. They'll hear it from parents and they'll say, oh, so-and-so is bullying me. But they don't often realize that bullying in itself is actually a very serious thing. So just to be able to recognize it, to be able to come up with coping mechanisms for it, and then also to create community, because some of the kids that we would choose to play this game together may not actually be kids who would play with each other on the playground. And I think just creating an atmosphere where that contact theory and kids can come together and laugh and have fun with kids they wouldn't normally have is also a great thing to do, both for health and for them socially. So that's my game, The Bullies of Hubbard Hollow Elementary. Watch for it on Amazon and game stores everywhere. Thank you.